Okay, looks like I'm going live. Let me share my link. So I'll need somebody to let me know if they can see this working. And any chats will be fine. Let me link to my phone so I can actually see and listen to the stream to make sure it actually works. You can see this working. And any chats will be fine. Okay, so I can hear myself talking on that. That's fine. Great. I'll wait till we get some people in, and then I'll start talking it through. Hey, Martin. Let me know if you can hear me, and then I'm gonna sort of talk through the things that I'm working on. Can you hear me okay, Martin? Cool. Yeah. No worries, man. How you? So yeah, that was really fun to watch you play the Dragon Quest game. It looked really fun. So I think what I'm gonna do just now is sort of talk you through some of the things that I'm doing. I'll try and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up my mobile phone so I can keep an eye on the chats as they come in. So yeah, just let me know if yeah. I think you're still able to hear me, right? So um, I'll keep an eye on that so I can see if there's any questions that you've got. So I'm working on. I've been working on 3 games, and what I found was like those 3 games, which I started off was a game called Omega Storm, and I'll go back to show you what that sort of looks like. In fact, I'll just do it for the File Explorer. As a delay's like 30 seconds. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's what I saw. So I'll sort of talk through the games I've been working on and what I've decided to do now to sort of make this a little bit different. So the first game was like a couple of years back, and I was working on this thing called Omega Storm, and so I might have some showcase stuff here. I think, yeah. So it would be like, so it was like essentially, I don't know. Yeah, GIFs don't really work well, and on this format, you can't just open them and play them. What I could do is, I mean, I can show through my videos that I've got with this. Unfortunately, there's no great way to give like previews of these other than doing that. If you look on the right hand side, so I had like a bunch of ideas that I wanted to do for this game, and one of the main ones was I wanted it so that you could have like in-game CGI, so that you could sort of have a story unfold on both the left and the right side. So like allies on the left and enemies on the right, and they'd like argue with each other and stuff. So I wanted to make it kind of like a shmup, but drift it into the realms of sort of RPG, and they had lots of like ambitious stuff for this game, sort of ambitious ideas, and I kind of finished it, so I can play it and it works and everything, and I've got it working, and I've done a full first level, so it's I could make this beta and here's some of the older examples of the game, like when it was like really in like the first few weeks, like, or first few months. So yeah, there was a lot of like what's the word, like there's a lot of iterations on this game, and it was fine, played really nicely, and I just kind of got bored though, because it was like, and I'll probably pick it up again, but what kind of made me bored about this was like I found myself, I started using different game engines, and this one's done in Yo-Yo game engine, and I'm 100% sure I could actually finish this game because I've done all of the hard work. um, I could at least finish. So I'd created 2 parts of this game. So I'd had like I don't know if I've got the example here, but yeah, I'd had like, there you go. So I'd had it like as a free roam version, and a scrolling forward shmup. So like my initial idea was like I wanted to what's the word, like do both of them and then allow the player to pick. So it would be really easy for me to finish it. It just means that I need to go and reopen up the project again in GML. I've got it, like I've got it here, and I can open it and play it. Maybe I'll just do that, just for giggles. I'll show you like part of the game playing. I can't even remember the buttons though. So, and then I'll show you the game that I moved on to after that, and then after that. And then finally, I've got a game I'm working on just now, which is a lot more enjoyable. So let's see, I think it was this one. Give it a go. What happens in Game Maker is it takes ages for it to compile, but I'm hoping it's got some pre-compile built in. Sure, no, I want to play the game. Let's see this playing. Like I say, I mean, it's been a long time since I've actually tried to get this working, so we'll fingers crossed, let's see if it works. So Yo-Yo is actually called Game Maker. So it's more commonly known as Game Maker, Game Maker 2. And so the Yo-Yo is just like the company name. So yeah, like you could basically pick, shmup and free roam. So I'll go to shmup mode first. And so yeah, you see like these pillars moving in. And then I think, let me see if I remember the buttons here. Oh, somebody's saying they're watching while at work. Thanks, Mitchell. No worries. Appreciate you watching. So yeah, basically like the idea of this was like, see, it's like RPG. I can scroll through the text. There's a lot of boxes that I hadn't sort of added in yet, and so I think, let's see if I remember how to. Oh, there we go. So yeah, so I added a lot of features. So I've got an AI co-pilot that's sort of helping along as well. So yeah, I mean, like I did all of the graphics, animation, and coding on this, and it's kind of like I say, this is the very first game I'd made properly, and it works fine. So I can cycle through these weapons. Obviously, it's in debug mode. I'd pick up the weapons. I wouldn't just like change them. And then I think, yeah, so like first level is really, really easy, right? Maybe I'll make it a wee bit harder on myself and just go back to 2 fire mode. And so yeah, this ally on my side, like I can also cycle through like his abilities by I can't remember the button, but like I had a bunch of different ally assist abilities, stuff like allowing it to use its shields to protect you, to seek and destroy enemies, and all of that sort of stuff. And yeah, it was a fun project to work on. And it kind of goes like this. I mean, there's a big end boss, which is really still really, really hard to beat, that I've made, and that boss took me a while to code up, but overall it was quite enjoyable. But yeah, I mean, like this is basically the game. What I'll do is I'll see if I can just try other things. Oh yeah, so here's my laser weapon. And so coding this, right, I'm dead, so I'm gonna exit this. Don't know, see if I can figure out how to exit. There we go, just push the stop button. And then I'll show you in the free range mode, in the free roam mode. So essentially, like, coding this game was a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? It took a lot of investment and time to work out how the Game Maker engine worked. Since then, it's been like 2 years. Like I can basically code games like in my sleep now. It took me a long time. Oh, see one again. It took me a long time to get to like the point I'm at now, and like, but what I found is like the problem's not coding the game. It's actually like the animations, the music, and what's even harder is the actual game planning. That's what takes the majority of your time, right? So yeah, I've got I think I've got this guy, and I need to set his like following mode. This is VR training. So yeah, you basically like I really want to remember what like the button is to change this guy's behavior. But yeah, so he'll follow me about, and I can choose, and he can go and seek and destroy and things. But this, this is actually kind of hard because it's been a while since I've kind of done this. But like, I found this one more enjoyable to play but harder to code for obvious reasons. One being the camera, like the movement of the camera, and yeah, like I made the enemies way too hard. But overall, like this, it's been quite fun. Doing the VR stuff. I mean, I'm definitely gonna come back to this. I might even redo it on Python simply because it's so much quicker to code games in Python. I'm kind of realizing now that I think there's a massive lag. I'm gonna go check. I think there's a massive lag in the live stream. So let me go check over. Yeah, I think there is, but I don't know, Martin, you still there, man? Right. Okay. So that was the first game, and so the next game that I started working on was called Lifted, and I think I've shown a lot of that, but I'll show some of the visuals and not just play it. But Lifted was also a game that kind of took a lot of development and effort, right? And so this game was done in Python, and let's see if I've got some showcase pictures here. So I've kind of shared this a lot, and this game Lifted was definitely got a lot more kind of feedback, positive feedback from people. They kind of like the idea, the idea of a mobile sort of like playing a mobile game, like using your mobile phone to get through things. Maybe see if I can go to that. I think you've seen it before, but I'll show it anyway for those who haven't watched this video. I mean, to be honest, for anybody watching, I'm not expecting, like, this wasn't supposed to be planned or anything, so this is just me spitballing, so it's why I'm kind of like slurring my words almost and tripping over my sentences, but it's just really me just going through some of the things I've done. So okay, so let's see if I kick up this game. So yeah, one of the things about this game is, so what I wanted to do was, it would be like you'd literally kind of have your own life, and you would go through, you get messages and jobs from people, and they'd ask you to do stuff, and you can like there'll be hundreds of widgets. I've not kind of like, this is still well into progress, but yeah, the idea is like you could either choose to do kind of like bad work, like become a crook and steal, cheat, sell drugs, some really kind of funny stuff like infiltrate woke groups and things to make money. But then you could also do good things, and so you would choose like which jobs you pick up, and you'd have like a morale rating, which would like determine the unfolding of the game. But overall, like, that was the sort of idea of this, and coding this up was fairly tricky, but I'm kind of quite happy with where I've got. I'm not going to go through them all. I mean, you've got like card games and stuff as well. There's basically, the idea is to have hundreds of mini games, but yeah, so that's it. I mean, there's a lot to this, and I don't want to talk about it all because that's something I'll do in a more like specific instance. But I just want to show like that's something I've been working on. I need to think properly because I know I'm not really being coherent with my description. So okay, high level, that first game I showed was really me understanding how to develop a game, and I did it in Game Maker, and that's really fun. It was quite hard to get used to how sort of objects connect and things, and like if you're creating enemies, you kind of want to make an enemy group and then have the enemies be children of them, and then even things like managing bullets was like really, really complex. And then in the Lifted game, because it was in Python, it was a lot more quicker to roll out, but a lot more finesse required to make it actually run properly, because it's, again, I use Pygame, and it's not like a traditional engine. It's very stripped down, and it's very focused. There's no IDE. It's very focused on just you knowing how to code, and so everything like performance and things requires a lot of effort. But that game, the idea was I think the idea is like quite what's the word? It's like quite attractive to people, because like you basically play a game that requires like minimum attention. You can pause it whenever you want, and there, there's a lot of kind of humor, and there's a lot of I guess being able to do things that you couldn't do in real life. So that's what made that quite attractive. But the problem I had with the second game was it was just too big, and so I've still got a lot more to do in that game, and it's going to take me, I would say a lot more effort to get to the point where I can roll out a full beta that people can just play. So like those widgets there, like at the moment I've got like a recycle widget where you collect, like first of all you collect bottle caps and then can tabs, and then you collect like bottles and you make a little bit of money off of it, and then from that you go into like progressively more crazier stuff. Like that's just like a way to get you like earning a little bit of money, and then later on you'll be picking up drug deals from Amazon, and you'll be taking people's jobs to sell stuff on the side. And then other things you'll be doing things like there's like funny ideas I had where you would like train animals to like pickpocket. So like you train crows to go and like steal £20 notes from people's wallets. So that was the main driver for that one. And that, I think like 50 widgets would be enough to make the game playable, but it was just too much to bite off. So then what I did was I started to work on something where I gave myself no expectations. And so this was a game called Alteria, and I've not quite got where I want to be with it, but like it's progressing. So I've given myself a zero timeline on this. So these are like some inspirational pictures. So I'll go into the actual mocks and samples. I'll go in to see if I can find something worth sharing. So I got a couple of so this is the main character, and the second main character, and I'll show you some in game like what I've been working on. So let me see, mock samples, level design, maybe in here. Yeah, so this will show the design that I've been working on this one. So the idea is it would be like an RPG, and you'd be able to kind of wander in a sense, like it'd be like a 16-bit. So you would fight monsters, pick up weapons. Weapons would be disposable. You'd have GFs. So it's inspired by this game Story 4. So I just wanted to make a game that I could play it again because I enjoyed that game so much. It's still really, really early on, but like I've done a lot of character design, which has been quite fun. But let's see if I can find anything else. Show some of the sprites. So I think I might have. So yeah, I mean overall, like the idea for this game was to give myself no expectations, and just work on something that could be fun long term. But again, the issue here wasn't the size, but more just the artwork, because the artwork is really, 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 really hard to get together. So I guess it's something that will just go in the back burner, and just no expectations for when I want this project to be out. So anyway, that's left me with a situation where I've got 3 projects, and all of them have different problems for different reasons. Like the one I could probably complete the quickest is the first one, because the engine's all there in place. The second one has the engine in place, but there's just too much work to do to get the additional sort of widgets and ideas put together. I know it doesn't really sound coherent. I'm not like making it sound like I'm not trying to sell the game here, because I've still got loads more to do. But then what I decided was, I said, look, like these 3 games are going to take a while, so they're going to go in the back burner. I want something I could just roll out by like next week or next month. So that's what's led me to this new game that I'm working on, and I'll just show it. So this new game is called Drone Commander, and the idea is that you basically could just control a fleet of drones. Like you buy and sell drones, and it's in a world where you basically drones is like an economy, and so that you start off with maybe just one drone and you collect more and you unlock a tech tree and you get more abilities and more like buffs and I've got an idea of like a campaign mode and an adventure mode, and the idea being is that in the campaign mode you would like go through a story and like eventually like unite all of the drones, and in the league mode you basically just play in a league table. So so the way I had it was I had it like, so like initially I wanted to go with this kind of theme, like make it really Windows 95 feel. So it would, because my target here was to have a really low bar so that I could roll out this game really, really, really quickly. And I thought like, yeah, something like this, this kind of aesthetic could work, and I could get it out really quickly. And so I then was beginning to think like, it's like the game Football Manager. I don't know if you ever played Football Manager before, by the way. Let me try to find. So like, this is what gave me the inspiration. So like in Football Manager, the old games, like effectively the GUI was just like a bunch of circles going back and forwards, and I found myself like remembering like that's still really fun to watch, right? And I wanted to recreate something like that, and so that's why I came up with the idea. It's like Football Manager but with killer drones. And so like I say, start off with a drone, could explore space, you get money, enemies drop loot and things like that. And so this was my initial idea of what it would look like, something like this, right? And so got a whole bunch of different ideas for the GUI that I want to work on. And so here's like the tech tree, just typical thing where you could unlock lots of different features for your drones. And then some inspiration, so Xenogears on the Genesis. I think that kind of artwork something I could reproduce. Speedball, just I want that kind of mecha feel, the sort of Judge Dredd, what's the word, what's the other film that Sly did that was really good, Demolition Man, those kind of aesthetics, kind of like 90s dystopian future. And some of our GUI designs that I had. So I'll show the game playing and what it looks like. So if I come back about this, I mean, I only started developing it on Friday, so it's really, really, really early stage. So literally like, a day ago. And so this is where I am just now. I'll show it. I think Mitchell must have shot off. So I think Martin, you're still there, but yeah, I know this is what I was going to be telling you and showing you anyway. So I'll let you read this if you want to or not. Just to get an idea of like the idea of the plot that I wanted to go with. So yeah, basically like I'm gonna make this very Terminator-esque feel, right? Like the way it scrolls up, and I'll have some like dystopian fire and cities burning in the background, or like drones attacking like a city or something. But that's the idea. And so I'm just stealing the logo, my own logo that I made for the other game for now, until, because it's like I say, it's just a work in progress. But the idea is like, so again, it's still really, really early days, but this is going to be the idea. So like, I've not got homing switched on, so I'll switch my homing attack on now. So there's going to be a whole host of like options that you can do. So that's me killed those guys. So what I'll do is I'll try and show like a different GUI. Let's look at the classic one. So I'm just experimenting with different GUIs, right? And like the idea is like yeah. So oh yeah, I don't have the homing switch to light. I don't have the homing button here. But see, those red ones, they're all homing in. But the problem is they don't have as much speed as my guys. So there's a ton of extra work that I've got to do. But this is really easy. Like I've rolled out like a bunch of features within like not very long. So I don't think, I literally think I can have this done within like maybe a week of work. So I think I'm much more comfortable working on this game, because whilst it's not as exciting as the other games, I can roll it out pretty fast, and hopefully I can have something that's quite enjoyable to play. So that's my kind of like idea. Just jump in here, so this kind of red one. So yeah, I think home and switched off again. But the idea is like, you won't have that many drones to start off with. You'll have different sizes of drones. There'll be like motherships that you attack. There'll be like in the league mode, you'll just be doing fighting like that, and enemies will drop loot like in Speedball, and you'll get money, and each round you buy players, like buy drones, you buy commanders and things, and you get promoted from the first league and so on and so forth, and you go to the second league. In the campaign mode, there'll be things like capture the flag. You'll have to defend a spot, and so there'll be like missions that you'll toggle with in-game buttons, so that you're not just watching it unfold, because Football Manager was a bit like that. You kind of just watched it unfold mostly. In this, there'll be a little bit more direct influence, so you can see I can switch off the home in, and that's I know it seems like the only feature I've got right now. It isn't, because like there's some of those have shields. I've got in-game commentary. Even like the bouncing effect was really hard, like the interaction with the different with the walls and things, because I had to code up my own so the movement is not standard. It's not like standard Cartesian. It's quite a bit different. Like I'm using like rotational coordinates, and the drone's just moving in the angle of direction. So I think this will be much easier for me to roll out, because I can I'm working with that minimalistic art feel to begin with. So something like this. So yeah, like the minimalistic art feel allows me to roll it out much faster. So I can just create a bunch of buttons, add a bunch of features. I've got a whole ton of stuff. Like I'll have like a weapon shop, team setup settings, and what else will be? There might even be a bit of like a story mode as well. And so as I do add in characters and things, so the game could grow, but my plan is to keep like the bare minimum parts, so that I can deliver something really fast. And like what I'm lacking, and this is why I kind of wanted to just show you, is I'm looking for more inspiration on what I could do. Right, so like I kind of need to think of more ideas that I can add in, because I think this is fine, but obviously I'm the one of the main things is they're adding in the ability for them to shoot each other, right? So like that's there'll be like single shot, double shot, EMP, so like the drones, when it gets near, it'll like a wave will emit, and it'll disable other drones, like drones to hack certain drones and turn them to your side and things like that. So all of that's like really easy to code, because I'm not focusing on the animation, and the animation's quite simple. But I do think, in terms of game mechanics, I'm probably missing something to make this like hook people in, because at the moment it'll still just be pushing a few buttons and watching like balls like attack each other. I mean, that's okay, and I guess a bit of grinding to generate an income, like to make money, will keep it relatively interesting. But I'm kind of just looking for more ideas and get your thoughts about what things that you think I could add. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it there, because I think that's basically just what I wanted to show. See if there's anything else quickly before I drop off. So I'm kind of like playing with the idea of drawing a different GUI like this, like a kind of metallic, dark like GUI, because I think the dystopian feel is going to be the best. So these are different GUIs that I've been kind of working with, but I think obviously if this is going to be the tech tree, then I probably need to make that more dark as well, and just make everything consistent. But yeah, again, the theme here is minimalism, so that's what I'm going to go with. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, Martin. If you've got any ideas, do let me know, because that'd be really